We'll hear from head coach Dan Fisher first, followed by Chinaza Ende. We'll get started here shortly. If possible, please check your settings and identify yourself by name and affiliation in the Zoom. Thank you all for participating in this afternoon's post-match Zoom. We will now begin with an opening statement from Coach Fisher and then go to questions. Please use the raise hand function to indicate if you would like to ask a question. When you're called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. Coach Fisher, please give us a brief opening statement and then we will go to questions.
Congratulations to Washington. I know what a big deal this is for their program, and they've proven to be a very resilient team this year. They've had a lot of five-setters, and I know how much Keegan wanted this, so nice work by them. I'd also like to congratulate our team on a great season. Our players went through a lot this year, and you always want to win one more, but I'm really proud of the group. I'd like to thank, my assistant coaches, our support staff, Heather Like and Chancellor Gallagher. It's nice to be at a school where volleyball is valued, and we certainly appreciate all those that helped us along the way. In terms of the match, we've been kind of playing with an underdog mentality all this, really this whole year, and we had that through the first two sets and just lost it a little bit in the third, and we were close in the fourth and could have gone either way, and would have been nice to get that one, but it wasn't meant to be, and so we'll be better for it, but I'm really proud of our team with how our season started.
Thank you, Coach. Now we'll go to questions from the media. Use the raise hand function to indicate you want to ask a question. When called upon, please state your name and affiliation first. Our first question is from Craig Meyer. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Go ahead, Craig.
Hi, Dan. I'm just curious for y'all over the course of that match, going up 2-0. I mean, from your vantage point, what changed in those final three sets, or what changed in that moment to kind of reverse the match's trend there, the way it had been going?
Well, I thought they came out a little flat and we jumped on them. And then just offensively, just from a numbers standpoint, we never, I think we hardly hit above 200 after, maybe we did in the fourth set, but our offense wasn't quite good enough. But with the exception of that run in the fourth, I just felt like we got up two, and we were kind of just waiting for them to lose it. We kind of went away a little bit from, kind of what got us here, just playing really aggressive volleyball. But I'll look at some film at some point and figure it out then.
What do you tell your team after, this is the end of a long run, it's the end of a season, as you had mentioned, a trying season, a whole bunch of different ways. What did you tell them after a match like that?
Oh, I just congratulated them on a fantastic year, and that was easy. I mean, it was a hell of a year. We fought hard. We've lost one game in 2021. They have a lot to be proud of, and I'd do it all over again.
Next question, we'll go to Alan Saunders. Alan, go ahead.
Hey, Dan, Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now. You talked a little bit about it in your opening about, this still being proud of this team. Tough way to lose, obviously, but I mean, especially considering the way you started this season, how proud of this group or how proud of this group are you for getting as far as they did? And what do you feel like was some of the difference in your team since the calendar flipped that made you so much better in 2021?
Well, extremely proud. When we came back in July, we didn't even know if we were going to have a season. It's been a long year of trying to figure out, what our schedule is going to be, and once we kind of sorted that out, I think that helped in the springtime to know that when the championship was, what the schedule was. So I think that helped. I also think, we weren't shut down a whole lot. And so we were able to train all the way through and able to keep working on our game. And I think a lot of players just got better. And so, that showed a lot in the springtime. And shoot, we were inches away from being in the Final Four. So it's the credit goes to them, and the difference is always in them and how hard they work.
What do you hope that your players that are returning can take away from this experience and really getting so close to being one of the, are one of the top teams in the country, obviously, but getting even so close to the Final Four there?
Well, I hope this failure is a motivator, and it makes our players that are returning want to be even better. I mean, that's the main hope, that it's a motivator.
Thanks, Dan.
Next, we'll go to Alexander Lembeck. Alexander, go ahead and unmute yourself when you're ready.
Hey, Dan, this is Alex from the Pitt News. Yesterday, you talked about how you were able to get Chiamaka going really well with those back one plays and stuff. Did you feel like Minnesota had a tougher time guarding, I guess, some of your big attackers like Chiamaka, and how do you think they handled her as well as some of your other key stars on offense?
Well, we didn't connect quite as well. She still had some pretty good numbers, but most of that's because we didn't pass the ball well enough to run our middle as much as we would have liked. And so, Kayla didn't have the night she wanted, and I would say, other than her, we had a lot of good performances. I don't think anyone really had, we had some gritty performances, but I don't think anyone really had the game of their lives. So, we had a lot of good, and but it just wasn't quite enough. And it would have been nice to get one of those go our way in the fourth, though.
Our next question is from Jeff. Jeff, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey, Dan. Jeff Hathorn from KDK Radio. Overall, you've had a lot of firsts with the program. What does this mean for the program to have it on this type of stage? What's the impact for you guys?
I don't totally know, but I hope there's a perception change that, I think, people have known we're a good team for the last few years, but, hopefully there's more perception that, hey, we're a contender and we're someone that can make a deep run and can fight for a championship. And so hopefully that affects everything positively, our recruiting, our fan base, that's the hope.
Thanks, Dan.
Our next question is from Jim Hammett. Jim, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Dan, Jim Hammett, PantherLayer.com. I guess my question was kind of asked, but I know it kind of stings in the moment, but kind of looking back on this season, I mean, what does this do for your program? I know this was kind of just asked, but overall, I mean, with the building being built in a couple years, new arena, it just seems like this program's on the rise, and this is just another step in that.
Yeah, I mean, talked about a lot of that before, but the single biggest thing we hope is recruiting, obviously, and yeah, the Victory Heights is back on. That's a good thing. And so I think I hope the perception is that we're a great program and one that can attract the best players.
Thank you.
Our final question will be from Kelly Burkett. Kelly, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Kelly Burkett, WPXI. Coach, you have some pretty important seniors on this team who have helped build this program. What do you want to say to them, or what have you said to them, and what have they meant to you?
Well, we have great leadership on this team. They let me push them. They have my back. I have their back. I just feel like with this group of seniors, it's the coach-player relationship is kind of how it should be. And we're definitely, it's fun to come into work every day because I know that we're all just working towards the same goal, and they know I love them, and that's about it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach Fisher, for your time today. We will be joined momentarily by Chinaza Ende. Please use this time to raise and lower your hand as necessary.
Thank you.
I don't have to do an opening statement, do I? Okay.
All right, we are now joined by Chinaza Ende. Use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you are called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. Our first question is from Alan Saunders. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Alan, go ahead.
Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now. What do you feel like was the difference after the first two sets today? It seemed like they were able to get some momentum in the third, and then things got obviously very close in the fourth. Can you just kind of talk us through what you were feeling was the difference as the match went on?
Yeah, Fish said this before, but I think we just kind of went away from the idea of going for it. I think, we've been playing to win this whole tournament. And I think in that moment, being up 2-0, I think we just started playing not to lose. And we started being more tentative, and talking less, communicating less. Things that are, kind of the heart and soul of this team. I think we just let those slip. And Washington's a good team, if you give them that if you give them a little break, they're going to take advantage of it. So that was the difference.
How deflating was, you lose the replay call, and then they get the set point right after that, right there at the end of the fourth?
I mean, it is deflating, but we were prepared for any call to go their way. To be honest, we were talking to each other, making sure that we were in the moment, regardless of whether we got the call or not. It's hard to lose on a call like that, but I don't think that that was necessarily maybe as deflating as it might have looked. I guess we we were trying to be ready for anything. Is what I'm trying to say.
Our next question is from Chris Adamski. Go ahead, Chris.
Hi, Chris Adamski, the Tribune Review in Pittsburgh. Alan just sort of asked the question about it. I don't know, how much there were two reviews there at the end that could have guys match points. I mean, that close to it. I don't know if you were able. You're probably in the moment. Did you see the calls? It seemed like it went back a while to find the infraction on the second one. Did you agree with the calls in the end? Did you see them or anything, or in terms of that? That pretty much could have decided the match, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think the calls were ultimately correct. I don't think that they got it wrong. Obviously, you don't want to lose on a call. You want to lose playing volleyball, right? So, it was just a tough draw. We fought till the end, and, we tried our hardest, but I don't really have anything to say about the calls.
Thank you.
Our next question will be from Craig Meyer. Craig, go ahead and unmute yourself.
I don't even know where I should be looking.
Hi, it's Craig Meyer from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. We had seen the match kind of change over, going from the second set to the third, and then the third into the fourth there. It seemed like there was some momentum there for Washington. I was curious, when you all are together as players, when you're out there on the court, how much, if at all, can you feel that?
How much can we feel? I mean, I guess we can feel it. We're used to volleyball is a game of momentum shifts in general. So I think that you can always kind of feel where the momentum is shifting during the game. Obviously, you try your best to stop it, but that's just kind of the way the game works. It's just the game it runs. So.
And I'm sure it can probably be difficult to think about in this, in this kind of a moment here. But as a player, as someone who's been with this program for the past several years, what can you take away from this past week and this tournament run, and even the past few months when y'all went on that unbeaten streak?
We're legit. We're a good team, and that's all it is to me. God, I'm getting emotional. I believe in us, and it's not even about sticking it to the doubters or anything like that. It's just about showing the people we've always been, and I think that's what we did in this tournament. I'm just really, really proud because it can be easy to kind of buy into the idea of us not being as good as we think we are, or we say we are, and kind of showing up in this tournament really, I think, planted a seed in our team and just hey, we can compete with anybody. It doesn't matter about names or conferences or who wins this or who coaches where. It's we're a good team. We're legit. We're one of the top teams in the nation, and so that's kind of been my main takeaway from this whole thing. God, I want to cry. But here I am.
Thank you, Chief.
No problem.
Our next question will be from Alex Lendeck. Alex, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, G, it's Alex from the Pitt News. Just like you were saying about kind of when you get a chance to digest this, to look back on the whole run as a whole tournament, what do you think will kind of be the defining moment for you guys from this run?
Ooh, defining moment. Defining moment. I think, this isn't really a moment, but I think us, sorry, I'm being so all over the place. I think us sweeping Utah was a moment we were wait a minute. We might have something here. I think that was the moment because, you build up these games in your head and you're oh, this is just going to be such a battle and we really have to just dig this out, and winning it, not an easy game, but winning it in a sweep was pretty unbelievable. So I think that's something, obviously the Minnesota win is huge as well, but I think that moment was really inspiring for us. I think that we were just oh, we can actually do this. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question will be from Kelly Burkett. Kelly, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Nazi, you mentioned what showing up in this tournament, or this is Kelly Burkett from WPXI, I'm sorry. You mentioned showing up in this tournament, what it showed that Pitt was legit, but what is the impact that you feel that your team right now has made on the volleyball program in the University of Pittsburgh? What have you changed in perception about volleyball at Pitt in your years here?
I don't think we've. Let me retract. I think, we've been one of the most, if not the most, successful program on campus for a while. So it's hard to say that we've really changed that much. Obviously, we've made a deep run in the tournament, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's just kind of making us bigger on a national stage, maybe. But as far as within Pitt, if you pay attention to Pitt sports that aren't, you know, kind of the footballs and basketballs of the world, you know that, you know, we've been successful, at least since I've been here. So yeah, I think we've been legit. I think this kind of boosts us another level up, which is always nice, you know, just for recruiting and things like that. But I don't know, we've been successful for a while.
Well, maybe, I mean, you're personally, the impact you've made on the university. Do you feel like are you leaving an imprint? Yes, you.
Okay. Am I leaving an imprint? Oh gosh. I mean, I'd like to think so. You know, I think that's kind of what sports can do for people, is it can kind of bring people together, and you know, women's sports in general, I think, is always inspiring. So that's big for me. Being a Black woman is always also a big thing for me. So, you know, I try my best to make sure that I'm representing myself in a way that I can look back and be proud of. And so I'm really grateful. You know, Pitt has been, I literally couldn't have made a better choice. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Our next question will be from Jeff. Jeff, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Chi, Jeff Hathorn from KDK Radio. A similar question, but I'm just wondering, as a student athlete, what this season has been like, to go back to the summer, to not knowing, to have a slow start to the season, to have a break and then resume, and knowing you have to be perfect with this, you know, a shorter NCAA field, and to be that, and then to have this type of success. Can you give us an idea what this was like?
Oof. I mean, even describing it's like a roller coaster. I think it was a lot of ups and downs, but I mean, I know we're all better for it. I think we kind of stuck to the values we kind of started the season with, was just being grateful for every single moment, being grateful, you know, like Fish said before, we weren't shut down a lot. We didn't have any COVID cases on our team. And like, that's in itself is a blessing, right? So, you know, getting to train with people that I love and care about every single day is always a blessing, you know, and the emotions are the emotions, but at the end of the day, like, I still love everyone on the team, you know? Our relationships are as strong as ever, and that's the thing I'm going to kind of value the most over any win or loss.
Thanks, Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Janaza, for your time. Thank you all for participating this afternoon. You can find a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. Ugh, tears, Lord Jesus.